It's Wednesday. Wow. Sad. Double wow. Hey guys, I don't know if you know, but Christmas is right around the horizon. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. There's stockings, sleigh bells, Santa, and more. But there are many things that we do every Christmas that we don't even think about, like watch White Christmas. Andy, what are your thoughts on the movie White Christmas?
White Christmas is a 1954 American musical film directed by Michael Curtiz and starring Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Ellen. Filmed in Technicolor, it features the songs of Irving Berlin. Actually, funny story. One time when I used to work at a ski place, a lady came up to me, and when she learned that my last name was LaFave, she told me that there used to be a songwriter in Hollywood, California, whose last name was LaFave, and he wrote the song White Christmas, and Irving Berlin stole it from him. And she told me all that while I was serving her soup.
That's terrible. How could he do that?
How could he do that? Filmed in Technicolor, including a new version of the title song, White Christmas, introduced by Crosby in the 1942 film Holiday Inn. You know, it's funny about White Christmas. This movie's almost 70 years old, and it's still a very much loved film.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen Holiday Inn, but White Christmas is like the much, much better version of Holiday Inn. Mortal 7.
Mortal 7.
Mortal 7.
Mortal 7. So, William, why do you think that this nearly 70-year-old movie is still so loved?
Well, I think it boils down to, and this is my thesis for this entire review, characters, a complex plot that's simple on the surface, and Bing Crosby's hair.
Wow. Bing Crosby certainly had hair in this movie.
Before we launch into the introduction, do you have anything to say about White Christmas?
White Christmas to me means that sometimes the generals in your life stop being generals. And you have to figure out what to do with those generals.
I like that.
But you know, this movie is so fascinating to me because in some ways it's sort of timeless, and I can't quite put my finger on what makes it so timeless. The jokes that were supposed to be funny are still funny, and the music still sounds great, even to this very day.
This movie is a weird glimpse into a culture that's so far from us, yet so close to us. So similar, yet so different.
Back then, 2 train tickets from Florida to New York were $97.42.
$97.24.
Okay. That's probably like a lot of dollars now. So trains are like airplanes, but also like everyone was so happy, you know, because they just won the World War. Not that like everyone was just joyous because a lot of people died. A large part of White Christmas is a tribute to those who fell in World War II and survived World War II. Every time I watch it, I always like watch a World War II documentary or something afterwards because it always makes me more interested in that history.
It is really funny that this is basically, you know, like a Hallmark Christmas movie set in like a small Vermont town full of love and Christmas and songs. And this movie starts out just in the middle of World War II.
Our movie starts off in the war, probably in France or Germany, and there's people singing, and they sing...
Ooh, actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to fact check, but this movie starts in Monte Cassino in Italy. Not Las Vegas. So it's in Italy.
Oh. I see how it is. I didn't see any pizzas. Well, anyway, an old man is mad because the troops are singing with Bing Crosby. So the older man tells the younger man to drive him not to the base.
Sergeant, take the shortcut.
That's not the way back to headquarters.
This helps us understand who the general is. He's a man who loves,
Takes care of his men.
So then, we see Bing Crosby singing White Christmas. And you might be thinking, wait, I thought that would happen at the end of the movie, because it's named White Christmas. And while you're technically correct, this shows some of the depth of the movie. You see, White Christmas is something called a chiasm, which is a structured story where beginning and ending elements cascade down.
What's a chiasm?
It's a structure where the beginning and ending elements are the same. And then just like a mirror, the closer you get to the center, they still are the same.
What's a chiasm?
It's a structure where at the beginning and the end, there's a thing that happens, and then past that there's a thing, but it's the same.
So it's like the beginning is the end is the beginning, and the middle is the same as itself.
Yes. A chiasm is like when you have a mirror, and then there's a secondary event. Then the second event is paralleled by the next to last event at the end, and so on.
But wait, is he really angry?
So then they sing a song about how he's old.
We'll follow the old man wherever he wants.
And then a wall falls on Bing Crosby, which is where we meet our second character,
Danny Kaye.
Special K.
Phil Davis. Danny Kaye.
Special K.
Danny Kaye. Phil Davis. A wall falls on his arm, and he goes to the hospital. And then he gaslights Bing Crosby.
Well, sir, I've kind of written a little song.
So then Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye form a band.
And they make it to the big times. But they do it because Danny Kaye hurt his arm.
This is when we reach one of the main plot points of this movie.
Which is the music box. They used a music box to play White Christmas.
What's in the box?
The music box is a representation of like how at the beginning of the play, White Christmas is not organic. It's metal. It's wrapped in metal. Just like the war.
Danny Kaye wants Bing Crosby to get married.
You've got everything you want, except the most important thing. What's this? A girl.
They say, Buster.
It's a good idea, Buster.
And then this is where our other two main characters are met by us and the other main characters. Betty and Judy.
Wallace and Davis here to see us.
Notice the parallels between Betty, Judy, Danny Kaye, and Bing Crosby. In both cases, we have one mature, grumpy character and one ambitious character. One of the main themes of this movie is angles. You'll notice angles are brought up all throughout the movie.
What's an angle?
It is when you have a line, but there's a bend.
I thought Angles was a country on an island where they drink tea.
I thought that was in The Lord of the Rings.
No, you're thinking of elves.
I don't remember anything about this movie. I thought there was a Danny Kaye and a Betty, but you say that they all drink tea?
So then Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye go to a restaurant and they sit down to watch Betty and Judy sing the only song they seem to really know.
Sisters.
We see them perform this song multiple times, and their act doesn't seem to have any other songs.
Yeah. But Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye don't care because they're just glad they don't have freckles or something.
Freckle-faced Haynes, the dog-faced ball? How can a guy that ugly have the nerve to have sisters?
So they sing the song, and then they come and they sit down at the table and they talk.
And they learn about each other.
Have a recent snapshot.
And that's when we get our first dance number.
Care to dance?
But before that, we get to see Danny Kaye be like really awkward.
Mr. Wallace was just saying how remarkable it was that Benny Haynes' sister should have eyes.
I swear that every time you watch this movie, somehow Danny Kaye gets more awkward.
Care to dance?
It's true.
And there's something just really great about that.
So after they talk, then we get the first real dance number of the show. And I really like this one, you know? It's kind of cool. They're just like dancing around on the beach and then they jump on a boat. You know, I know nothing about dancing, but that just looked like it was really hard to do. And they made it look easy.
At this point in movie history, there's still a lot of like Broadway influence in movies, and it shows because everyone knows how to dance. I don't know if people on Broadway all know how to dance, but I feel like they do. I don't know. I play violin. I was in the pit. I didn't see anything going on, and I think everyone was dancing. They were all yelling something about Sweeney Todd. What are your thoughts on the introduction?
You know, I feel like it's great. They set up the characters, they make the characters likable and interesting. Along the way, we get some good music.
If you were to stop the movie right here, what moral would you take away from it?
It seems to me that at this point in the movie, the characters haven't learned the true meaning of Christmas.
I wanna Buzzsaw Louie! I want 10 Buzzsaw Louies! 'Cause that's the true meaning of Christmas!
Because they're in Florida.
That's true, and there's really nothing in Florida except like the ocean. And everyone knows that Santa can't land in the ocean, at least yet.
And so I'm excited to see them learn. Good.
I think the audio is okay.
About Christmas later on in the movie.
The moral I'd take away is that we have to break walls down.
Wow.
No, I don't know if I have a least favorite part. We haven't made it far enough in the movie yet to parts I don't like.
There is a part in this movie that is really one of the worst parts of any movie ever made. I think this movie's great up until this point.
I'd say my most favorite part is, besides the music box symbolism, just seeing the old buildings and like the costumes.
My favorite point in the movie up to this point is most definitely the best things happen while you're dance sequence. Because that's just too cool to me. I just thought it was fun and good of a time.
Hey!
Hey,
Hi.
there's a lot of good things about White Christmas and the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think what nobody's talking about is what's bad about White Christmas. You know, I just wanted to say thanks for letting me drop in.
Ba 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 ba.